Hey, what's up everybody? I wanted to make a quick tutorial on how we are pumping lava out of the nether into a tank back at home so that we can create energy with that lava that we pumped out of the nether and turn it into usable energy with our MFSU. And the reason this is efficient is because there's a whole lot of lava and it keeps pumping into our tank at home. It's an infinite source essentially that's constantly making energy at home for us to use for all of our machines that we've got. This is just a real quick guide. The reason I'm making this is because there were no guides on how to make this work with Feed the Beast Ultimate Reloaded, because in this mod pack specifically, they have disabled the normal pump. It actually says disabled for performance reasons, so you have to use a fluid pump. And this fluid pump is on a newer version of this mod pack, so there's not a whole lot of information out there on how to use this newer version of the fluid pump. So essentially what we've got going on here, we've got a steam dynamo that's powering our energy cell, and the energy cell is powering our pump, which is sending all of our lava to an ender tank. We have another ender tank back home with a tank that's set up to have all of the lava stored and then turned into energy in our generators and then into our MFSU, which I'll take a ride over there as soon as I'm done explaining what we've got going on here, because this is really the important part of the video. So how we've got this set up, our steam dynamo here, which is cooled by water, and you can use any energy source here between coal, coke, whatever you need to use. It creates power, which then pumps the power into our energy cell here, and the energy cell puts energy into the pump, which then pulls the lava out. So the way that we have this set up currently is we are using water buckets to just fill this by right-clicking on it. And the reason that we have it set up this way, there's actually another way that you can set this up to have it constantly fueling water into the dynamo, and it's an infinite source. Unfortunately, being in the nether, you can't have water here. So it is a bit of a pain. You have to walk over here and fill it with water every time you want to use it. But until, once your lava tank back home is full, this really becomes a non-issue. It does hold that water for a really long time. And once this energy cell is full, it really isn't an issue, because this is going to hold a crap load of energy, sending it to your pump. And then once your lava tank back home is full, again, it's a non-issue. You really don't have to worry about keep coming over here and filling this thing with water. There may be other ways to just feed water into this by using water buckets and feeding the water buckets themselves into this, but we didn't go that far into it because it was, we probably only had to fill this thing 3 or 4 times before our lava tank was totally full, and we're creating a crap load of energy back home. So the way this is configured, put that water back. The way this is configured, the redstone control is on disabled, and then our energy cell here is on enabled. And you want to look at the configuration here. So the configuration is showing you these orange boxes are all intake. So on each side of this energy cell, as far as I'm understanding it, is intaking energy. And then the blue square here is outputting energy from the energy cell into the actual pump itself. And you can actually see that here. It's stored energy from that cell. You can see it kind of dipped there for a second because it is pumping lava into our ender tank. So once you've got your dynamo pumping energy in your energy cell, you can go ahead and get your fluid ducts set up. What you want to do is you want to make a reinforced servo, and the purpose of this is going to actually tell the pump to send to send lava into our fluid ducts here. If you don't have this servo, you won't pump any fluid out of it. And then you need to make hardened fluid duct. And the reason for that is, if you actually go and look at the other fluid ducts, if you don't have a hardened one, it won't actually it'll explode. It has to have a certain rating for it to actually hold the heat that you're creating. So our hardened fluid pump, or our hardened fluid duct, is going to be essential there, because otherwise these will just blow up. It won't actually destroy any of your machines if you don't have a hardened one. It'll just be kind of terrifying because this stuff is expensive to make. So you got your servo. It's set to output into these pipes and then into your ender tank. This configuration here on the ender tank is important because you're going to have an input, which is this one, and then an output wherever your lava tank is. So again, this pump is just a newer version, kind of hard to use if you don't understand how to get energy into it. Another thing that we had to do was, this is a range add-on, tier 11, and the reason that we added this was because if it's currently bugged, if you put a pump here on top of lava, which it isn't in it, it's just above the lava, there's no block in between it. If you don't put that range add-on on, there's a bug where once it goes too deep underneath the lava, it actually creates 2 cobblestone and it stops pumping lava. So this range add-on actually extends the pump all the way down, and you're able to get a lot more lava, and it kind of bypasses that bug that's currently happening where it clogs it up with cobblestone and you keep filling your lava in. If you don't have this range add-on, it's going to pump in a very minimal amount of lava and then just stop, and you're going to have to move your whole pump. You can see here that we have this in the middle out here because we want to have a source block and we don't want it to hit this nether rock over here and get stuck. You can actually see over there in the distance where we set this up, it hit cobble, we tried it again, it hit cobble again, so you got to come out to a source block to be able to make this work. And that is how we got it going, pumping into our tank back at our house. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll over there and show you guys how we have the lava tank set up. So it's actually creating, it's not only holding the lava, but we also have it set up to where it's actually generating lava into power for us to use in our MFSU. There might be easier ways to do everything that I just showed you, but this is the way that I've done it in a few other mod packs. But since this mod pack has the original pump disabled, I couldn't find any videos anywhere showing how to use this specific fluid pump to be able to get lava out of the nether. And I'm not any expert by any means on how to use this mod pack in particular. I'm just showing how we did it. Obviously, you could probably tweak it in your own way if you've been playing on these mod packs a little bit longer than we have. We just quickly threw this together. It took us about 2 days to get this figured out because it was just not working the way that other mod packs have in the past with a pump. So you see here, this is our lava tank. There's a few guides on YouTube on how to make these lava tanks, which you can actually use them for water, lava, whatever. And you can make them in a bunch of different dimensions. But since we have lava constantly pumping from the nether into this ender tank, it didn't really matter what size it was because there's always going to be lava in this tank. It doesn't really matter how big it was for us because it's always going to have lava in it. So again, this configuration is important because you're going to have this as outputting lava into your tank. We did have to put a fluid duct here so they can actually input it into our valve, and you can see that it's totally full. It's constantly being filled. So you can also see here our lava is actually depleting. The reason for that is whenever you're not in the nether, it's not generating the block. It's not generating the chunk in the nether anymore. So you have to have a chunk loader, which we had over there, but it isn't. Doesn't have any ender pearls in it right now, so it's actually just deloading. So eventually, if we have all of these generators creating power, our lava tank might actually start to deplete. But we have so much stored energy that's not really an issue right now. So again, fluid duct on a valve with your ender tank set to output. It's going to start pumping lava into your tank. Now, getting the lava out of the tank, we've got 2 redstone engines. My mod is glitching right here, so I'm going to not look right at it. You've got 2 redstone engines and a lever to power the engines on. This is a wooden fluid pipe going into a golden fluid pipe going into a fluid duct. This golden fluid pipe is not necessary. We just went ahead and left it because we just had one less, and for purposes of just keeping them, we just left it. Not a big deal. You have to have this wooden fluid pipe, however, to be able to pump the lava out of the tank. There's no servo required here. You just have to have a wooden fluid pipe going into your fluid ducts. And then all of this lava is going to our thermal generators over here, which we have a lot of. You can see that the tick on these, they're almost full. And we have 5 of them that are constantly powering energy into our MFSU, which is totally full. So when I was saying earlier, if this lava tank does start to deplete, we have all of these thermal generators as backups so that if this MFSU does eventually start to lose power, these are all pumping energy right back into it. So you've got power full here, all of these are almost full, and then residual lava in the tank. It's going to be a really long time before this is actually empty, and we need to go ahead and put that dynamo back into work, pumping energy back into the energy cell, back into the pump. So the reason this is efficient is because you're just never going to run out of energy. It's just going to work. So again, I kept that short and sweet. All the recipes and stuff you guys can go over in your actual mod pack. I just wanted to make this video because no one else had made it, and I just hoped that I'd be able to help somebody out because we did spend 2 days trying to figure all this out, because that fluid pump is a huge pain in the butt to use in comparison to the original pump. And again, this is specific to the mod pack that we're playing. All other mod packs probably work just fine, but we were already really invested in this mod pack and we didn't want to stop playing because of something as simple as that. So yeah, hopefully I was able to help somebody. If you guys do have any questions, you can try and leave some comments, and if I'm still around, I'll be able to try and help you guys out. But yeah, that's all I have for you today.